Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of Red Bull New York, I'm Steve Cangelosi, the voice of Red Bull Soccer on MSG Network. And thank you all for coming, and thank you for coming to Red Bull Arena. As New York introduces its newest designated player, Tim Cahill, to the club this afternoon, with the hope that this edition strengthens New York's chances of its first ever MLS Cup championship. Tim is expected to feature in the lineup tomorrow night when Red Bull hosts a club that Tim's faced several times across the Atlantic, Tottenham. And before we introduce him and the head coach of the New York Red Bulls, Hans Backe, we do want to make one acknowledgement here. As you know, Tim Cahill is a scorer. He is a playmaker as well. And we're going to talk about an assist, not on the playing field, but to New Jersey Senator Frank Lautenberg today, who assured that the visa process went smoothly for Tim Cahill. And he just arrived from the airport, just whisked in to the building a few moments ago after the visa was approved this morning in Montreal. So a thank you to the Senator's office. Tim Cahill is a two-time World Cup veteran who in 2006 became the first ever Australian to score a goal in the World Cup. With Everton, he found the back of the net 68 times over 8 very impressive seasons, was once nominated for European Player of the Year. So, with that in mind, before we introduce the head coach, Hans Backe, a welcome to New York, Tim Cahill. Your thoughts on becoming a New York Red Bull today?
Thanks a lot. You know, I think throughout my whole career, I've been very loyal to the football clubs that I've played for. I started off at Millwall, then left and went to Everton for a fantastic 8 years. Probably one of the most emotional moves that I've ever made. You know, when I had the phone call to have the opportunity to play for the Red Bulls, I knew in my heart that if I ever left Everton, that I'd never play for another Premier League team, out of respect for the chairman, the fans, and also the manager. As a footballer, I suppose I've achieved a hell of a lot in my career, but also I feel that this is a big move for me. You know, I know a lot of people might think otherwise, but you know, I'm 32 years old. I respect the MLS. I'm coming here at a good age. I'm fit, and I'm ready for a new challenge. You know, something that's very special for not only me, but also for my family. But you know, I'm going to be playing with one of the biggest superstars on the planet, and that's Thierry Henry. And I think for me, I have to see the vision as well as the people from the MLS and the Red Bulls, and to try and make this a good club on and off the park, and also, you know, create pathways and opportunities for kids who strive to be footballers. So for myself, very simple beginnings, nothing special. I work hard, I give everything, and one thing I'm going to do for the Red Bulls is put my heart and soul into it.
Before we introduce Hans Backe, the general manager, Eric Soler, I was asked to make you aware, is in Europe. He is unavailable today, but will be available to talk about the acquisition of Tim Cahill upon his arrival back in the United States, which might be as early as Wednesday. But for now, the thoughts of the head coach, Hans Backe, on his newest designated player. Hans?
Thank you very much. Of course, it's a great signing for us. Being European, of course, I've seen Tim for many years with Everton and also with Millwall. And we get a player who is quite versatile, can play second striker, he can be a central midfielder, box to box, and you can be sure that it's a guy that always gives you 100%. So it's, I mean, as a team, most of the teams in this league are a little bit inconsistent. I think with Tim's signing, we will have a central midfield, and hopefully then a team who can be more consistent. Even if we're still winning the Eastern Conference, it's up to us and in our hands if we want to win this year. We definitely have the talent for it. But get that kind of player, the experience Tim has from the Premier League and of course the World Cup games, it's massive for us. And let's see now, we just need to manage this well. He's coming from off-season, done 10 days with Everton, played 1 or 45 minutes against Motherwell. Looking for probably 45 minutes tomorrow, and then we'll see how he responds for that.
For those of you who were here for the Tottenham press conference earlier today, same format. We're just going to take questions and pass the microphone around the room. And we'll start that now, a Q&A. If you just raise your hand, we'll get the microphone to you. And we'll start with Frank. Go ahead.
Coach, can you talk about, now in the beginning you kind of formed a team around Henry. Now it seems like Tim would be the player in midfield to build things around. How do you plan on using him in formation?
I would say tomorrow we'll play as one of two central midfield players. I think also we will try to start Tiny or Teemu against Spurs. Been away for a long time, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to see these two guys on the central midfield. I mean, we're getting stronger in each unit in the back four and central midfield up front, because Tim can be the link to our strikers too. So he will be involved a lot in our build-up and of course in our defending game. And I think also being, with his experience, the guy who's on the pitch can organize us when we have, for example, 10 poor minutes and things like that. So just make the team solid defending-wise too.
Tim Leonard from the Record.
Hi Tim, welcome. I'm just wondering, where is your fitness right now, and how long do you think it'll take you to get into full match fitness?
I think I'm lucky. I worked throughout the summer. You know, I did some work with Athletes Performance in LA while I was on holiday. Played internationally. The last game against Japan, I had a good rest, but also we worked very hard. Everyone knows what David Moyes is like as a manager and what he expects from his players to be in peak fitness. I think for me, I just need game time. Even since all the madness of coming here and doing visas and medicals and all these sorts of things, we've been under strict instructions from the manager with the conditioning coaches to train twice a day or once, and make sure even in Montreal when I was stuck there to find a training pitch and train in the gym again yesterday. So for me it's natural. I think as a professional playing at the highest level, you have to keep yourself in good fitness, and then after that comes the game time, and that's something that I'm going to get all the good time. So I'm feeling pretty good.
Hi Tim, Ian Bolton from Sky Sports News in the UK. How do you reflect on your time in English football? Did you feel it was time to move on? And what are you going to miss most?
You know, it was the greatest years of my life. To have 15 years in England playing in the most powerful league in the world was really special. I think the rapport that I had with the fans and the loyalty towards them, and what it meant to be blue and to be an Evertonian was really special, and also with the Millwall fans. But I did really find it hard to even acknowledge offers from the Premiership from other clubs, and to even entertain it, because leaving and playing against the club you love is very difficult. But scoring goals, we finished 4th in the first season that I was ever at Everton, and that's the time when they sold Wayne Rooney and they signed me and Marcus Spence, and to finish in the Champions League after spending £2 million was pretty special. And then you're being in Europe twice, even last season finishing 7th above Liverpool. Some of the moments, but also some of the best moments was the time of when we were struggling, when the Gaffer had no one to turn to, as in buying players and having fees, and we were relegation battle start of the season, and all of a sudden, because we're fighters and the club means so much to us, we play with injuries, we did everything we can to come out of it. I think that just gave me as much gratitude as it did winning games and scoring. But I'm going to miss the lads, and I'm going to miss the chairman and the Gaffer and all the staff, and the fans, and most of all, I'm not going to miss the weather.
Brian?
For those of us who had
Brian.
The mic is by you, Brian.
Oh, I apologize. Sorry. Welcome to New York, first off. For those of us who hadn't had a chance to talk to you, could you just take us through the timeline? It seemed, at least to some of us, to come across pretty quickly. Wasn't a lot of talk beforehand. Can you just take us across how quickly this developed?
Well, I think with opportunities in football, you can't stutter. I think it was pretty quick, and it was asked to me. And the main thing was thinking about the football side of it, the professionalism, the league, first of all, and then secondly, what's most important to me, my family. And it all seemed to fit. I had a meeting with the Gaffer, which is the boss, and the chairman, and it's one of them things when the manager and the chairman give you your blessings, and I'm not willing to go to another Premier League club, then it fitted perfect. And to work with the staff here, the manager, such a big club in New York Red Bulls, and obviously to play with Thierry Henry and a good squad. I made my decision quick, and I think I'm not someone to mix my words. I made sure it happened, and I also gave a commitment to the football club and to the MLS that you know, I'd give everything. So there was still 2 years left on my contract, so part of me was you know, was mixed emotions, but it's done, and I'm so happy now, and you know, I can't wait to get started.
Did you have any conversations with Timmy Howard about coming here?
You know, I think I spoke about the MLS every year. I've travelled here for the last 6 to 8 years with Everton. Obviously, Landon Donovan's come on loan twice. Tim Howard's a great friend. We've had Marcus Hanneman and Edson Buddle, who've been trained there as well. But yeah, the MLS is such an enticing league for professional players. And the one thing is I watch a lot of games. I spend a lot of time watching football from around the world. And the thing is this is a real physical league, what people seem to forget. And the other night, the MLS All-Stars game was a perfect example of, you know, how technical football is starting to be, and you know how undercredited this league is and the players are. So, you know, I know I need to be in top form, and I know I need to be in top fitness. But you know, we speak all the time about the MLS. We speak about how great the stadiums are. We speak about, you know, the facilities, and there's a reason why. You know, a lot of the Premier League clubs come to a country like this is because, you know, great facilities, good teams to play against, and perfect conditions. So, yeah, I'm really positive, and I'm so excited to have this opportunity. But yeah, we speak about it all the time, and I think I kept it quiet amongst the lads out of respect for the football club. And when I went into the medical room and told the lads, their jaws dropped, because I don't think they ever thought they'd see the day of Tim Cahill leaving Everton.
Tim, welcome.
Thank you.
A lot of people in Australia, their jaws dropped as well when they heard you were moving here. Did you ever consider the A-League, and did you speak to any Australian clubs at all? Can you speak about that?
Yeah, it's simple. You know, this is a massive move for me. Moving to the A-League, in all fairness, would be a step backwards, and that's no disrespect. It's basically, I want to still play at a high level. There's still another World Cup for me to play in and to qualify for the Australian team, and you know, this is a massive opportunity. So I didn't speak to any A-League clubs, and it was never in my plans. The one thing that I do in Australia is I create pathways for kids to follow their dreams with my soccer clinics, and I make sure that they know that if a kid like me can make it, then they've got opportunities. So I think I'm more interested in the grassroots level of football in Australia, and not playing that.
Tim, how many offers were there from other English clubs, and also how much was the draw of playing alongside Thierry Henry important for you in coming here?
I think that there's always offers throughout your whole career over the 8 years of playing in the Premiership. And the one thing that I've always built myself upon is loyalty. You know, if the clubs want you, they'll buy it. And the main thing is I've never wanted to leave, so I've always signed new contracts at Everton. I've always been part of the stability of the team, the core of the team. But as in offers, I don't entertain them. You know, that's what your manager's job is to do, and the club's job is to deal with things like that. And I was never interested to leave to another Premier League club. And as for Thierry Henry, he's done everything. He's been there, done it, and won it. And for me as a player, I want to help the team. You know, I want to help on and off the park to be a leader and to hopefully do something special at this football club with the boss.
Tim, you said the big boys, you as a chairman, gave you the blessing, but did they try and twist your arm in any way at all?
You know, you can't think twice when opportunities like this come. You know, I suppose the waiting list for a club like this must be pretty big, with coveted players from all around the world. We spoke long and hard, but the main thing is the main things that I look for as a footballer is firstly the football, the professionalism, and my family. And those three things ticked every single box. And for me being 32 years old, I think it's respectful of the fact that I come here at a good age and give everything, and you know, not leave it till the later years. So, you know, I want to be part of the revolution, and I want to be part of the aspirations of young kids in America. And you know, that's been my whole thesis in life, is to do well and to work hard.
Tim, first of all, welcome to New York. Second of all, you said a lot of things right there. 32, family, a lot of other top players have come to this league, not in the twilights of their lives, and didn't work out. Beckham has been one it's worked out for. Thierry Henry a little bit. How much do you look at their successes in this league and say, okay, this is something that I can probably do as well, knowing fully well that you feel that you're still in the prime of your life in this game?
I think the best thing what the MLS have done there is pick two of the most ultimate professionals. The way they look after themselves, the way they train, and the way they extend themselves on and off the park. And I feel for me, having that professionalism, being the age I am, there's 30 games a season. Last year I played 41 games, the majority of the season, and was pretty fit and probably had the highest running stats I've ever had in 8 years. But that's where you want to be, and that's where you keep testing yourself. And I know that this is going to be a big year for me. I know there's only 3 to 4 months left of the season. We're sitting pretty. We've got 2 games coming up where Houston are 1 point behind. There's so many different elements. It's going to be a hard run-in, but also it's going to be challenging. And for me, it's 3-4 months of football, and looking forward to a hell of a lot.
Thanks, Tim. Welcome to New York.
Thanks.
This week, Thierry Henry had said that great players want to go out there as soon as possible and show what they got on the pitch.
Yeah.
When he first came onto the team, he said that he may have rushed a little bit, and he actually called himself a bit stupid for doing so, and said he would talk to you about it. And just give you the warning, though, he figured you'd most likely go out on the pitch anyway. Have you spoken to Henry, and has that conversation come across yet?
Well, listen, mate, I'm from Australia, so we don't do things in half measures. We just do what we're told. And I think for me, this has been crazy since I've been here. I've been up at 4, 5, 6 flights here and there, and fitting training sessions in, sleeping in the afternoons. This is our job, this is something we love doing. And I know probably playing tomorrow night might be a bit quick, but I'm here now, I'm feeling fit, I feel good, and it might be a bit stupid, whatever. But that's what we do. Henry is a professional, and this is his passion in training and his passion the other night in the game. It's what you need, and it's something that the other players respect a lot, because it helps them be better. And if you don't have that drive, and if you don't have that willingness to tell your teammate to do better, or to constructive criticism, then you're not going to get better. So I spent a lot of time with Henry since I've been here, and he's been fantastic, and he knows what I'm like. So now I'm looking forward to it. So I'm just gonna grab the ball by the horns and run with it.
Tim, this may be jumping the gun because you just landed, but a lot of players in the MLS go back, and Landon Donovan, and play in the Premier League at some point. Do you ever entertain those thoughts of going back on loan to maybe Everton again, or is that not an equation now?
For me, I'm totally focusing on the Red Bulls right now. Getting fit, giving everything I can for the next 3 to 4 months, and if something can work and fit to the training regime, because I've committed my future to the Red Bulls, and going on loan might not be the right thing for the football club. But if it works out that I can find the right happy medium to get the fitness and keep training and to play in certain games, then maybe yes. But I really think the next 3 or 4 months we'll able to tell closer to the end of the season.
Passing the mic, Brian again.
Tim, you said Henry knows you, he knows your personality.
Yeah.
He's also pretty familiar with the mindset of the New York fan. And in some ways they're pretty similar to the Everton fans, and they respond to guys that work hard, give an honest effort, etc. Does he talk to you about how he thinks that they'll embrace your style, because that's kind of been your MO?
Yeah, definitely. I think the one thing about me is I just try and do well on the football pitch and off it. And fans are obviously something that means a lot to me. I've got to win them over, but you can only do that by playing football. So I know that I've got the right drive and passion for the supporters, and the thing is, it's up to me to show them that. But yeah, Henry says it can be tough at times, but it's been tough throughout my career, throughout certain seasons and things like that. But I think over the duration of a season, and when people get to know me, that they'll know what type of character I am and what type of person I am. So yeah, I'm going to enjoy it. I'm definitely going to enjoy it, and hopefully the fans are too.
Are you familiar yet with the playoff system in MLS?
You know, the thing is, we've been talking about this with the players at dinner the other night, and they've been teaching me everything and telling me, and yeah, it's different, and it's something that I've got to get used to. But you know, one of the biggest things I've seen is the away records in the MLS about, you know, with teams losing, and speaking to Thierry Henry, whether that's a mentality thing or whether it's just a thing that naturally happens, because in any other league in the world, them statistics are you know, always quite even. You know, with Everton, we seem to travel and we seem to play better sometimes with no pressure. But there's so many different elements that I'm learning about the way that the teams are, and different things about the MLS. And you know, I suppose it's all about being leaders on the pitch and being one. Yeah, I signed as a designated player, but I don't classify myself any different to the rest of the players. You know, I want them, you know, to trust me and to be at ease that on and off the park that I'm a team player. So it's so exciting, because you know, the questions that the younger boys are asking me and things, it's brilliant to share it with them, and you know, it's going to be a great time here.
Tim, I'm sure the Everton fans would appreciate a few words on where you see the club now going. How do you assess their strengths for the coming season? Where should Everton be finishing? And they're set to re-sign Stephen Pienaar. How much have they perhaps missed him?
I think when you've got a player of Stephen Pienaar's quality, he can play in any team in the world. The one thing for Everton, he brings that class and a bit of, you know, link play that helps us get them goals. But I think for me, it's going to be exciting for Hans Backe. You know, young players that you know, have been highly talked about, but you know, doing really well in training, and it's going to be a difficult season. You know, last year we spent about 15 million plus. Liverpool spent about 150 million, and we finished 7th. They finished 8th, and that's because of the manager. It's because of the manager buying players he trusts, people who love the club, and people who put everything into it. It's going to be tough for the gaffer, and that's something that you know, I spoke to him about, and I wished him all the best. And you know, and even to the lads, you know, to keep the strong bond, to make sure that even in the hard times that they stick together, because I think that's when we got tested the most, when players like me and Phil Neville and Jags and Tim Howard stood together strong. And, you know, regardless of all the media critics that we got, we finished 7th from being pretty low mid-season. So yeah, I wish the club all the best. As for how they're going to go this season, I just hope that they finish in the top 8, because that'll be a good finish. Because you know, realistic, the club don't have money to spend, and it's really hard to bring players in. And I'm happy that you know, that Pienaar's come in, and I could contribute to helping the club kick on, hopefully.
Tim, looking ahead to 2014 and the next 12 months, how will this move impact the national team and your role in it? Did you speak to Holger, and does Hans know you've got an away game against Iraq coming up?
Well, the main thing is I texted Holger beforehand, and I told him that this was my move, and you know, as a footballer, you have to make the move that's right for you, football-wise and family-wise. And I don't think anyone could have changed my mind about this, regardless of their thoughts, good or bad. As for the Red Bulls, at the moment, my 100% commitments to my football club, getting fit, you know, and putting everything in to this team. After I'll speak to Holger and we'll speak about the games, but you know, I really need game time here, and I really need to put everything into this, and to make sure that you know, that I'm doing everything right to get fit. So that's something me and the boss will speak about. But lo and behold, at the moment, Red Bulls takes priority.
Both Tim and Hans will be available outside. They're just asking me to keep the formal press conference to another 2 or 3 questions. So,
Tim, from your standpoint, how frustrating was going through the visa process, and did you think at all that there was a possibility that it may not come through like it has for other players in the past?
I'll be honest with you. I've got the greatest job in the world, and to sit and wait for a visa isn't that bad, mate. So, you know, I've had a 7-hour medical. I've done all these sorts of other things, and it's nice to know that your body's in tip-top shape. It's nice to know that people care, and it's nice to know they're doing things properly. So I can't thank the club enough for everything that they've done for me, and especially Everton as well, into making this happen. So you know, this is a great move for me and something that I'm very happy with. And waiting for a visa in Montreal wasn't that bad. It was you know, it was okay. So I'm all good.
Tim, you talked about Thierry and the experiences that you know, the time you spent together the last few days. He had spoken when he came in about how he wanted to live in New York, and I'm wondering how much living in just this area was a lure to you in this whole move, and also just the aspect of living somewhat in anonymity, which he's relished, I think, since he's been here.
Yeah, well, you know, I think you're going to be surprised, but I've only ever been to New York once before. I've probably been to a lot of the other American places, like Miami and Florida, where we holiday a lot with the kids, 6-7 times. So yeah, it's a good, glamorous city. Pretty much know that, you know, a lot of kids come here and can eat you up as quick as you know, it can be such a great place to live. So my first two elements was the football side, the MLS, the vision of what they're doing for football, the coach, the Thierry Henry being here, and definitely it's a fantastic place for me to play. It's one of the most glamorous cities in the world. But I don't know a hell of a lot about the city, but one thing I know is I just want to settle down quick. I want to move into a house with my family and my kids. I want to put them in school, and I just want to play football. So that side of the bright lights is not something that's interested me, because I played for Millwall in you know, southeast London, and I played for Everton, and I live in a quiet village in Manchester. So yeah, it's going to be exciting. But I think what excites me the most is going to watch, you know, the NBA, the Yankees, NFL games, you know, stuff that I can share with my kids and my family. So yeah, Thierry Henry talked about the lifestyle, but he's one of the most professional people I've ever met, and I can see that. And there's a fine line between the other side of it and what we do. So you know, it's going to be exciting, but also the football's the main element here.
Guys, two other things. The jersey that Tim will wear tomorrow night actually has the names of 600 season ticket holders on it. For the cameras, you'll be able to take a close-up of it at the conclusion of the press conference. Turns out that only Hans is going to be available outside, so if there is anything else for Tim, he can take that question now. If there's anybody else. Thank you. Thank you very much.